economy. Remember that?
Yes.
So it was a transition after 8 years of Republican ruin to give us 8 years of Democrat ruin. That's the game, Alex. 8 years one gang, 8 years the other gang, 8 years one gang, 8 years the other gang. Meanwhile, the economy is apparently doing well. Is it? I don't know. We don't know. We don't really know.
No, even with Cook numbers at 0.2%, that's with unlimited free money to the establishment. I think you're right, though. And history shows this. You're a historian. Elites always become decadent and think they're invincible. And
what I'm saying is, you ask what will Obama likely do between now and there's a long time left. It's not just 3 months left. He has a lot of time, so we already see what's coming. The riots. He's got the gangs in the streets on his side. He's got them awakened. He's got them armed. They're armed to the teeth with illegal weapons, aren't they? And so you're going to see more race war right up until the Labor Day of 2016 for an obvious reason. And some conspiracists fear that he's going to declare martial law. I'm not so sure that he needs to, because it doesn't matter whether he's in power or Hillary's in power, or another demon cat. It doesn't matter. O'Malley, whatever his name is. They're all the same. They're cut from the same cloth. They're run by the same controllers. It doesn't matter. They're going to take the street garbage. They're going to take the illegal immigrants, and they're going to warp the entire election. So it doesn't really matter who runs on the other side. So I don't think that it's going to come down to the camps and the internment and martial law. I don't believe so. I think it would upset the economy and the world for him to do that.
Sure, they've got that as an emergency fallback. They've got that as an emergency fallback. But rest assured, if they don't get everything they want, they might have the bravado, or what's a better word, the chutzpah, to push it. I mean, they're bold. Fortune favors the bold. I think they're capable of anything.
Well, they are capable of anything because he's the smoothest con man America's ever seen in the White House. You got to admit he's smooth. He doesn't scream in German. He doesn't march to the Horst Wessel song, does he? But he's performing along the lines of any other petty dictator. We know what he is. We can see it, those of us who can smell it. He is Al Sharpton with a smoother act.
Sure.
So, in other words, strip away the veneer of Obama and look at that street rat, Al Sharpton, and that's who's running the country.
Well, look at how Sharpton's been at the White House over 50 times. I mean, Al Sharpton is a joke, a huge weirdo, gang member, FBI informant, who wears huge leisure suits with long, curly hair. It really is a freak show. It'd be like having Benny Hill as president or something. It just none of it makes sense. Let me ask you this. I want to get back into the book here. Michael Savage is our guest. Michael Savage, Countdown to Mecca, because that's the other big wild card. Is ISIS running around, stirred up by our ally Saudi Arabia. You've got the whole new Cold War getting kicked off. You've got all these public statements about the Tea Party's the main enemy and gun owners are the main enemy and veterans are the main enemy. And then meanwhile, we just mentioned 5 weeks ago, hey, Jade Helm lists Texas as the enemy in Utah and Orange County. And then here's these training manuals that says, it's even in Forbes and AP that the military is trying to take on the veterans of the Tea Party. We have a concern, so they have literally hundreds of publications a day saying, I'm saying Obama's going to invade Texas in July. Never said that. They never quote me saying it. They just lie. Why do you think they're running around like chickens with their head cut off about that?
Well, we all know who they are. There's a very small, you mentioned Anderson Cooper. These are talentless people with no ratings. They see an independent guy like you, so what are they going to do? They see an independent guy like me who rose from the ashes. Like a phoenix, I rose from the ashes. I'm on over 250 of the biggest stations in the country. The Limbaugh cartel hates me because they can't understand how I got where I am without them. Fox News hates me. I call Megyn Kelly Martha Washington, sarcastically, because she thinks she's the founding mother of the nation. She is doing the bidding of the Islamists, as far as I can tell, especially after this event. They actually blamed Pamela Geller for this event in Texas, didn't they?
Yeah, they said it's her fault. They basically said she deserves it.
Yeah, well, that tells you where they're at. The good news, Alex, is the scum are dead. They didn't injure anybody. The vermin, the converted filth, the converted jail garbage that did this is dead because of beefy Texas security guards, beefy Texas cops who aren't going to take the crap. They're not going to put up with this garbage, this hatred for Christians. this hatred for America. They're not going to accept it. They blew them to Allah land. That's the good news. That's the future we should look to. All of the armed police in this country, you have a job. All of the military in this country, active or retired, who are armed to the teeth, you have a job. Stand up to this scum. Don't let them take away your legacy, and don't let them steal your daughter's future. That's my answer.
It really is true.
They kill you.
Well, it really is true that we ask, why is this elite doing this? They have a crazed, craven, sneaky will to conquer this republic, this renaissance. They want to mount America's head on their wall, and they will work with any coalition to do it. And I got to say it, they're as mentally ill as Hitler. I mean, they really are mentally ill.
Drugs. I've for years been screaming for, if you go to work for a corporation, you have to pee in a cup. Why don't we demand that the president and all the members of the cabinet and all members of Congress go for a mandatory drug test every month? I'd like to know what they're on.
That's a good point.
What drugs are they on?
That's a good point. I want to shift gears into your book again because it ties into all of this. Talk more about your book.
Okay, I'll make it simple. You know, it's hard to describe a nonfiction, a book of, you know, a novel. I did something different in this novel with the Jack Hatfield character. I created new characters, including, and this is an interesting one, a Jewish gangster, Saul Minsky, who actually works with Jack Hatfield to protect him from the CIA, who was trying to kill him because, see, Jack's trying to stop the bombing of Mecca, or it's not bombing, actually, it's another technique. And the government then goes after Jack Hatfield. And he has to employ local gangsters to protect him. So there's new characters, and he's one of them. And Sammy's, a new character is Jack Hatfield's brother, Sammy the Clown, ex-Marine, motorcycle accident, living on the proceeds of the motorcycle accident. He lives next door to a Russian prostitute who becomes a heroine in the book because she's invited by the generals to do her work, and she overhears the plot. She hears one word, and her name is Anastasia. Her eyes, normally alert as those of a Nordic wolf, seem wary and frightened. She's a great character, and I would say she's the hooker with a heart of gold character come back to life. So what I'm saying is I make it entertaining, Alex. You know, there's only so much people can take from you and I. It's palatable only up to a point.
That's another question. That's another question. I used to could work 18 hours a day, literally many days, but it was killing me. And now I can only work about 10, 12, and I need to spend time with my family. This stuff is so sick now, the things they're doing, that I would go crazy if I continue to work as hard as I was. You, multi-time, top supplement developer, top, best-selling author, kind of launching a lot of the health revolution 35, 40 years ago. I'm not bragging for you. It's actually true for folks that don't follow it. I mean, you've made, your family, things you've deployed, some of the biggest products in the country. I don't want to, brag for you, but there's some of the biggest names out there. You don't talk about it on your show. You don't need money, but you're writing books constantly. You're on the air every day. But what do you do to unwind?
I sleep a lot. I'm serious. The minute the show is over, I go to sleep for 20, 30 minutes. It's a great technique, Alex.
I need to do it. I try.
No, but here's the thing. Go in a dark room. It has to be a totally, absolute dark room, no light. Hold your keys in your hand, on the side of the bed. It's an old trick. And let yourself drift. The minute the keys hit the floor, it'll wake you up. It's no more than 12 minutes. That's all you need. You sleep more than 15 minutes, you're going to get groggy.
I agree, yeah.
Right? So 12 minutes, you do the Edison nap. That's number one. I am saturated in vitamins. I am swimming in ascorbate. I'm a big vitamin C man. I have been for years, and many other things. I mean, people know me. I talk about it. I love to eat. I do drink at night, and that helps me. Just completely turn it off. You have to turn it off.
Yep.
You have to turn the switch. Alex, you cannot do. Your wife probably doesn't want to hear you talk about this. Am I right?
Yes.
Right? You just stop it already. I mean, you have a family. So you do have to learn to turn that off, or you'll go crazy.
Oh, I do turn it off, and then people walk me on the street and want to talk about this stuff, and I'm sorry, I just can't do it.
I ride a bicycle every day, and I do it in the way that Mr. Kellogg did. You know, the man who created Kellogg's Cornflakes. He would ride the bicycle 1 mile a day from his home to the plant in Battle Creek, Michigan, in a suit and tie, looking like Colonel Sanders. And he said, I'm riding the bicycle for equilibrium. In other words, we think we're supposed to ride the bicycle for cardio, pumping our bodies to death. He saw it another way. I ride my bicycle for that balance. You know what I'm saying? Equilibrium.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, just ride the bike a little, like a mile on a flat road, get equilibrium, try to see it in the Zen way, in that way, honestly. And these are things, they're simple techniques, and also luck. You've got to be lucky, Alex. I'm over 70. I'm 73 years old. I should be dead by now. My father died, God rest his soul, at 53. My grandfather at 47. So I used to hang on hoping that in the old world, my great-grandfather lived. They said, no, he died at 45. I've had a gun to my head since I'm young. Always thought I'd be dead. It's what drove me into the nutrition field. It's what drove me to the islands, South Pacific Islands, when people didn't even know where they were. Fiji water. Yeah, well, I was in Fiji before there was Fiji water, collecting medicinal plants, talking to folk healers.
No, you're right. I made the decision about 4 years ago to lose weight, get in shape, because it's the same thing. Like a lot of my great-grandfathers and people were successful businessmen, but they all died at like 50 from heart attacks because they never slowed down. My dad's dad as well. So that's why I just won't work as much as I did, because it's up to other people to fight this as well, not just us. And it comes down to scum wants to conquer better men, better women. And if we let them conquer us, I guess they are better than us. The new book is excellent. I can't wait to read the whole thing. Thank you for giving us time today. I know you're a very busy man. Countdown to Mecca, Dr. Michael Savage. We salute your hard work promoting the Bill of Rights and Constitution and our sovereignty, and you've been proven a prophet of what you predicted happening. It's all, unfortunately, come true.
Alex, I love your show. You're one of the best in the country, if not the best. And you are very strong, but remember, we all have our limits. You look good, by the way. I don't know what diet you're on. I want to know what it is.
Well, I was falling apart. I've just done a lot of stuff, but God bless you. Thank you, Dr. Savage.
Thank you, Alex.
You look great as well.
Thank you.
Very exciting interview. There he goes. We'll be back with the news and your calls. Stay with us.